What is going on, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Unfiltered Conversations, and I am your host, Laila Simone. Today I have a special guest here with me today. Not only is she a friend or a sister, she is also a business partner, a fashion icon in the making, and so much more. I cannot wait to have this conversation with you today. Hi, Miss Mia. Hey, girl. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Let's get started.
I'm super happy to have you. So, I want to get started with who you are and basically like how we kind of connected. If you guys don't know, not only is she just a baddie, but she's also a model. I told you she's very popping in the fashion industry. You know what I'm saying? Very much so up and coming. But we've also been friends since I was like this big. It's kind of funny because now that we're on the podcast and we're kind of just discussing how far we've come, we got to go back just a little bit and talk about like when we were younger. I think if you don't know, like she's a next door neighbor of mine, but I think as we continue to get older, I was able to get so close to you, and I didn't know that it was gonna be this like bond that we have now. But I want to ask you, like, what inspired you to begin your fashion journey, you know?
Okay, for sure. Anyways, when I was little, right? So ever since I was 4 years old, my great godmother, so my mom's godmother, she gifted me these plastic heels. You know, like those.
Oh yeah, the OG baddie heels, the princess heels.
Yeah, plastic with the fur on top or on the bottom, doesn't even matter. It was about like 16 pairs of those, and I fell in love with them. Like, oh my god, what are these? Like. Yeah, let me put them on right now. I wear it to the grocery store, I wear it to the restaurant, I wear it to the playground. Like, I fell in love with them.
I love it. I feel like every baddie had that one moment, because for me, my mom said I had this princess dress. I would not go anywhere without that princess dress, wearing it at least once a day. She kept it in the washing machine because I would have a fit if I couldn't wear it that day, because she was like, it's dirty, it's this, it's that. I'm like, no, I have to wear the dress today. But I feel like when it came down to meeting you, there's also a little bit more that goes into your story. So I kind of want to talk about, if you're comfortable, your journey with your hearing impairment.
Yeah, so that came, I want to say the shoe came later after I was diagnosed with me having hearing loss. So for those who don't know, I was actually born hearing. So I don't remember much about hearing it over my head. So I think I had a fever of 107 degrees when I was 3 years old, which we don't know what the illness was. It was some sort of like pneumonia or something like that. So I passed out, did not even wake up until like the very next day. So in the hospital, all I remember is having green jello on my lap and just waking up hearing nothing, and I'm just like, so what's going on? Like, I just got here on earth, now I can't hear. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So there was a lot of like things that happened in the hospital, especially like there are some additional racism that does happen in the hospital, because my mom kept fighting, like, no, like, she cannot hear, like, we need to figure out, like, what's going on. But a bunch of tests ran on me, people thought I was autistic, that wasn't even the case.
Right.
I just couldn't hear. They couldn't figure it out until a year later when I was 4.
Wow.
So I finally got my first pair of hearing aids when I was 4 years old, and I had to go through a bunch of speech therapy to talk where I'm at now, and that was a bit of adjustment, because when you're at that age, especially being diagnosed that young, you kind of have that sense of responsibility, like, given to you, because you have to keep up with those. A lot of kids do not keep up with hearing aids whatsoever. I have heard stories where others that have been hard of hearing people, they flush their hearing aids down the toilet.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, that's crazy, because they're expensive. Yeah. So a little bit about that. So boom, I got diagnosed with my hearing loss. I'm like, okay, like, not a big deal. Going into school, I want to say from like preschool, kindergarten transition, that was okay. That was fine. I guess like kids naturally are very curious. So they'd be like, what's that? Like, oh my god, what's that in your ear? Like, what is that? And I'm like, okay.
Did you get tired of kind of like repeating that over and over?
funny thing, I don't think I really began really talking until maybe 5.
Oh, okay.
So like I didn't want to talk to people. Like I would just do myself because it's scary because you don't know what you're dealing with, especially having like artificial hearing with the hearing aids.
Right.
It's very different to navigate.
Right.
So with my great godmother gifting me those shoes, that was like my playground area where I can just be myself and just like,
I love that.
you know, hey, if I'm in the grocery store or the playground with a fire hat and princess heels, then so be it. So getting out of that transition from kindergarten to preschool, I would say elementary school, that's when things start to get a little more real, because I was in a deaf and blind school during that time. So from like, I want to say like kindergarten to 2nd grade, I was in a deaf and blind school, which is no longer in business anymore because of the funding and something like that, which is unfortunate. But
do you feel like that needs to be changed?
I do, because I think deaf and hard of hearing students can thrive in mainstream environments in school, but also they should have a choice.
Right.
They should have a choice. And I didn't really have that much of a choice, so I was going to be a student in mainstream school.
Right.
So getting out of that transition, that was just the craziest experience. I want to say from like elementary to high school, that's the part where it was very pivotal for me.
Okay.
First day, 3rd grade, right? Come in, there was 2 students. They was like, oh, calling me dumb and stupid every single day for the entire 3rd grade year.
I work with kids, and kids are so mean, and especially when they're not educated on the fact that people come in plenty of different varieties, and when you're not fully aware of how your words can impact somebody, and then the repetition of doing it every day, people don't realize like you don't even want to go wherever you're supposed to be due to these people. And did any administrative people try to intervene or anything like that? How was that handled?
Any administrators and stuff?
Yes.
Like principals? There are definitely some adult figureheads that were discouraging me from continuing mainstream school, I would say. I had a principal at an elementary school, and I was like, oh, like, she's not going to do well in middle school and high school because of like her hearing loss and things like that. And so when you're dealing with those kind of things, it's very difficult to navigate, especially as a kid, because you're a kid, like you're not expecting adults to tell you about yourself and things like that. So 3rd grade was more of a bit of a challenge, and then I think I want to say when I got to high school, middle school was like, I want to say I was like one of the few blacks at the middle school that I went to. Okay, I went to Berkeley Middle School in Torrance.
Oh wow!
If y'all know, if you're from SoCal, y'all know about Torrance.
It's not too many.
If y'all know about Torrance, look up the history. They don't want us over there, okay?
At all. So how did that feel? Kind of like being one of the few, like being there.
I think I had to get used to it because that wasn't going to change, especially out here in Southern California.
Yeah.
Like I feel like SoCal culture, there's like a melting pot of everybody.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And then for me, like I go to school in the South, so all I see for the most part is black people. And then when I come back home, I get this shock. And it's so weird that I get this shock because I've grown up here.
Right.
So I have to kind of get used to what it's like kind of being in that PWI environment, because soon I'll be pursuing my master's. And speaking of undergrad and everything like that, let's talk about your college career real quick, because I feel like that's where, as your friend from the outside looking in, I saw this explosive amount of growth between you and your confidence, your promotion of your fashion. Let's talk about your business as well and your development basically as a stylist.
Okay, so for college, first of all, I love my school. I'm a Seaside alum. Shout out Seaside.
My little brother's going to be coming there soon. I'm excited because clearly it produces the grades. Like, why not?
Yeah, so with college, it was between FITM or Seaside, but I chose Seaside because they have a national center of deafness that helps deaf and hard of hearing students transition into college and stuff. And with FITM, they don't really have like those programs and things. A lot of colleges actually don't have.
And that's what I'm saying. Like even when Blake went to tour there, my little brother, they didn't even mention that. But that is very great because I feel like sometimes in the HBCU world, the disability services are not
not up to par.
No.
Yeah, it's not up to standard
at all. But let's continue.
And so college definitely did help me expand my knowledge for things, especially like my knowledge for fashion and stuff like that, and my confidence boosted as well because I had to transition from a very toxic high school environment where I'm like the only one, and also like people boxed me in, and college gave me the opportunity to really grow and expand in that. And so I have a styling page. It's at Gathered in Pens.
Oh yeah, we're gonna leave that right here. Make sure you guys go ahead and tap into that because she has carried so hard. If you go check out my page at Lenses by Lay, the glasses that I was just wearing, these are opulence. They'll be dropping very soon. And she is the genius behind all of the styling that is posted on that page. So make sure you guys go tap in with Gathered in Pens. Quick ad, okay?
How I came about the styling page, I want to say it came out about maybe a few years ago. I want to say like 2022 is when I started rolling out. That actually used to be a very old spam account.
Really? But look how like smart that was though, because I feel like first off, starting from zero is so difficult, but when you are already using a page full of people that already love and support what you do, it's probably one of the smartest moves to use an old page that you previously had.
Exactly. Yeah, and like flip it and making sure you grow your account with that.
Right.
The only thing is, I was very hesitant in starting that though, because I feel like as a creative, you kind of expect your family and friends to support you. And sometimes you have to let that expectation go. Because I have seen people who come across the page and I know them, they won't follow, they won't like, they won't repost, they won't share, and I'm just like,
what's going on with you? Why are you here? And I just said something about this, and you guys follow my spam if you're gang. But I just said that, like, why are you watching my page and you're just scrolling past it? Like, I don't get the nosiness. Like, why do we look at it and it's like, oh, okay, they're working. It's free. Like the picture, repost it, do something, engage. Like, I don't know what that's about, and dead followers is something that I feel like it's something that we'll never be able to escape, because at the end of the day, it's like your follower account is all the way up there, but your engagement is so hard to get up as a business owner when you guys do stuff like that. Like, and you would think your friends and your family would be the first to jump to it, but with that Lenses by Lay, I'm sorry, I had to learn the hard way. Like, sometimes they just don't see it the way that you see it. Like, it's your passion. This is something that you take seriously. And a lot of times, sorry black people, but this is unfiltered conversations, I'm gonna say it, they don't realize what it looks like to be in the making or building. That building period, you guys don't do the pats on the back or the congratulations until the job is done. It's been succeeding for a long period of time. You know, at this point you have a long line of supporters, so now it's, oh, I've been, and it's like,
it don't work like that.
No, it don't, and that's exactly why I'm making sure that I'm documenting everything that I do when I build with the people that I build with, because she's modeled for me, she's made graphics for me, she's helped me literally pick and style everything that I've done so far. 3 summers in a row now, making this summer, and I've been thinking, like, I don't know what I do without you. Like, I'm trying not to tear up thinking about it, because again, everything that I've done has been with my friends, and you have to support people while they're growing, because it's hard to recognize whether you actually supported me back then versus when it actually takes off. Because, you know, as you continue to grow, people start to hop on the wave, but it's hard to figure out your attention. So I definitely could understand the whole like family trying to get the support out of friends thing, because it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard.
And sometimes like you have to overlook that. Like, hey, like if I'm gonna get a community, it's gonna be from somewhere else. Not necessarily from family and friends. It's like, okay, like maybe it's disappointing, document it, journal it, talk to your therapist about it, something. But just know, like, don't take it personal.
Right.
Because that can also be a way where your growth could be hindered.
You just said a thing right there, because and it's so bad, because I feel like a lot of times me and her have a lot of conversations like without the cameras, mics, anything, and she really be spitting like. And what she said about the fact that you have to learn not to take it personal because it hinders your growth, I had a hard time with that. Like, I used to almost be like what? I don't even know if I want to be cool with you no more off of stuff like that. And I had to realize, like, when you focus so much on that, you don't continue to network and build with the people that are into what you're doing. And not only have I been able to grow this summer, but even when I go back to school, I've met so many people that want to get on the project with the podcast, the other podcasts that I run out there, the sunglasses, modeling, whatever it is. And like, I've been able to, you know, people will hit me up like, hey, do you have anybody to model for such and such? And I'm like, yeah, Nia, right here. And being able to do stuff like that helps me realize, like, okay, that one person or two people that I thought were gonna, you know, help me out that didn't, it's no big deal. You know?
Right.
But I want to move on and talk about your challenges being Black in the fashion community.
Ooh. Cause I got the tea on that one.
You see how she sat up straight?
I got the tea on that one.
So what has it been like starting out now as a Black woman in fashion?
Okay. So post-grad, I don't know if anyone has been aware, but the job market literally, tanking right now. That job market is nothing to be played with. Like, I pray to God, anybody that's dealing with that right now, you need a good hug and a good crying session, okay? But starting out, so graduating last year with my BS in fashion merchandising, right? So I applied to like so many jobs with graduating out, and it took me about almost a year to get into the position I'm in now. Look, so
I applaud you for your dedication. Seriously,
there was blood, sweat, tears, and crying session all year long, bro. Like, I almost pulled my hair out. It was tough.
It was tough.
It was tough. And I want to say that one incident where I thought I had one in the bag early June of last year. And it was a Black woman, actually. So she owned a Black agency out in LA. The streets say that she temporarily closed, but I think that's a good thing. Anyways, I hit her up and we were having like this unconventional interview or something. She's like, oh, this is more of like a casual conversation, and like we'll bring you in and see if we fit in the workspace or whatever. Basically, with like a trial run, she promised me to give me like money for gas and like parking, and I think for lunch or something like that. The first red flag, when I showed up the very first day, she was 30 minutes late. And
30 minutes?
30 minutes late.
Like
30 minutes late. I was like, okay, I'm not really a person that like to see potential, because I don't really know. I'm like, okay, like, you're already 30 minutes late and you're the business owner.
Okay, first off, I just want to ask this real quick, 'cause this always helps me understand and other people understand how people handle stuff. What's your sign?
So I text her. I was like, hey, I'm here.
What's your sign?
What's my sign?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an Aries.
I just want to let you know we're both fire signs.
I'm an Aries, girl. I don't play. I get down. You waste my time?
I know that girl pissed her off though, because I know how she is about being on time. Like, come on, don't ask me to do something and you're running late.
And I'm already a very impatient person, so you should be paying me. I'm here. What you doing? You still at home? Where you at? So I text her. I'm getting like real irritated. I'm like, bro, I can't believe the first day. No, red flag. So she finally comes and she's like, hi, sorry, like I just had a few things.
Excuses.
You're like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. So I tried it for about like a month, right? Mind you, remember how I told you she's supposed to pay me for gas, lunch, and parking? She was very inconsistent with that, and I don't blame. If you owe me money,
run it.
Pay me.
Run it.
Where's the money?
Run the bread.
Like, so eventually she was like, oh, like if we end this 30-day thing, then like you get signed on and get like a $5,000 bonus. I'm like, okay, you talking my language.
Now we're talking some money.
$5,000 bonus.
Yeah.
So eventually my intuition told me like something ain't right. Like it's not adding up. It sounds too good to be true, and I was like, okay, like let me fall back and apply to other jobs, not just for her.
Right, just in case, because people be tripping.
So then apparently she set up a Zoom meeting, and I completely forgot about the Zoom meeting. And eventually I texted him like, hey, I want to be in a position where I could be financially stable. I just can't be out here doing anything for free.
Yeah, you just out here freestyling at this point.
You're not consistently paying me for the things that you promised to pay. And so she got offended by that. She got offended. She took away my work email that she set up.
Wow.
And did not respond to that email. So she completely took me out of her company.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, okay, so basically you wanted me to work for free for you. Absolutely
no. But I'm glad that she handled it that way, because now for one, you see how she handles business, and for two, you got removed out the place that you didn't need to be in the first place. Because I don't even understand that. You did a trifling move. Now I forgot one time, and now I'm out the chat inevitably.
Yeah. And
it was no discussion or anything. She just
nope. I tried to get in contact with her. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let karma handle it. Because if I do, I'll go to jail.
Sometimes I ain't got time to be waiting for karma though. I'll be like, you know what? I'm the karma. But I gotta stop being like that. We're healed, guys.
I mean, I wouldn't do anything illegal. I'm not trying to promote that or anything. But as a black woman, I feel like we always get told to be the bigger person, and sometimes.
Oh my God! I just said that I'm tired of being the bigger person.
Sometimes it's really not worth it, because every time I think about it, I'm like, am I letting disrespect slide? Do they think they can play with me like that?
And then the thing is, I be so fearful for my integrity, because boom, you played me once and I let you get off with that, and now what you gonna do next?
Right.
You gonna think I'm gonna let you do this again? I'm not finna let this happen twice. No. Like I'm not a fool. One time, all right. All right.
I'm okay.
But again? No, I'm not going for that again. But that's crazy.
I was so mad.
But after that, like, how was the bounce back?
So the bounce back, I ended up working with a recruiter for this freelance agency, right? So their job is to find jobs for people.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was more of a contractual job. So everything was very...
so you had control basically over
so
your own schedule.
I had to make ends meet. So I'm like, okay, I still need a job. Like, I need to get into this, whatever. The one, I for 2 months. The other one was about like a weekend and stuff like that. And I was just hustling. I'm like, hey, I need a job. Whatever you throw me in, I got it.
You was catching them and doing it.
I was driving from Marina Del Rey, sometimes from West Hollywood. And you know the drive. West Hollywood.
Yeah, that's a push. And then on top of that, y'all don't even know what traffic look like out here.
No. I blame the transplant, but that's another conversation for today. But
wait, what?
The transplants, the people that aren't from SoCal, I blame them.
Yeah, it's all y'all's fault. And you can't drive. Car accidents out the ass.
No, I literally had a coworker say to me yesterday. She was like, or a few weeks ago, she was like, my favorite freeway is the 101. Where are you from? New York.
All right.
The real tea, ain't nobody out here have a favorite.
No, like what?
Come on now. So anyway, I did work for, what's the company? Vents. I don't know if you know what Vents is, but it's like an upscale women and men contemporary line that sold in Nordstrom, Saks, and I think Revolve.
Okay.
And I was a production coordinator with the production team. And it taught me a lot. I learned a lot about fabrication. I learned a lot about how the costing analysis works when it comes to sourcing all the fabric from like the warehouse and things like that.
So more logistics.
Like, okay, like I could see myself doing this like more on the business side of fashion. Okay. And so that drive, bro, no.
I couldn't, me personally, like I feel like that's where like your passion kind of has to kick in a little bit. Because when you're first starting out, no, it's not going to be comfortable. No, it's not going to be ideally what you had in mind. And I think that's kind of where like nowadays we got to kind of like bring ourselves back here. Like, okay, we're just starting. It's not going to be like this forever.
No, it's not. And after that, I ended up going to retail for Nordstrom. And I liked it. But then the manager and I had an issue.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm like, oh, something. Oh my God, that'd be great. So the issue is, mind you, it's the Delamo Mall in Torrance. So I grew up out there, like with schooling and stuff like that. So it was bringing me back to the same state that I was trying to escape from. So walking into retail, it kind of reminded me of like high school all over again because you're dealing with different people with different backgrounds. And educational backgrounds too. So
the educational background, like for real, because it's just like I feel like you go to work thinking like, oh, I'm not gonna have to deal with that, but you always dealing with that.
Yes, you do.
And then you have to figure out, okay, how am I gonna have enough decorum to get through this day every day because they're gonna keep doing this.
So the manager, she was cool at first, but then I noticed that like she would talk to other employees about how good my makeup looks. And I'm like, you couldn't just compliment me right here, I'm standing right here, but why are you going to other employees about my makeup? So I'm like, okay, she's gonna be a problem down the line. I just don't know what
type of issue
what
we're
type
gonna
of
have
issue.
here.
And she was one of my, she's white, okay?
That's how I didn't want to be that person, but I definitely wanted to know.
Yeah, she's white. And also older millennial woman, and so she would micromanage me every single time I'm at work. And I'm like, bro, I got this. I don't need you as a grown woman to micromanage me. Like, I'm here to make money, but I'm also doing the bare minimum, okay? Y'all bare minimum wage, I'm gonna do bare minimum work. But, you know, I feel like what kept me going to not think that way entirely is that, like, okay, let me try to learn about the retail business as much as I can and know how to operate and stuff like that.
Basically kind of like flip the script, if you will. Kind of like your perspective on it.
My perspective on it. And also like I did style some customers when I was working at Nordstrom, and they were always looking at me like, oh my gosh, like where's Nia? Like she's not in today and stuff like that. It was really fun. But it was an issue because the manager decided to sabotage my career at Nordstrom, and that's a whole other thing. So after that, I ended up finding a more stable position for the company Lulu's. So I work for Lulu's now. You don't know who that company is. Basically, a women's clothing store. At first, it was only online. I don't know if you like for homecoming, like prom, like a lot of girls like
the dresses,
shop. So they'll shop for dresses, prom dresses, homecoming. They have wedding dresses now.
I did not know that.
Which is crazy. I was like, oh, So I am a sample coordinator, so I coordinate between business partners and also employees, making sure everything runs smoothly in the business. And I also like the fact that I don't deal with everyday people.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm so glad that like you were able to kind of like give us the breakdown of how your career has been going. But I want to know, say like it could be today, tomorrow, 5 years, whatever. When you're at the top of your career in your mind, what does that look like for you?
Top of my career?
Yes.
I never was interested in designing clothes, like apparel. No.
It's the straight no.
So remember how I told you that I fell in love with shoes, right? I was thinking I would love to be a shoe designer.
Oh, I would love that.
More specifically, heels and boots. Okay, I try to be a
Mia loves a good boot if you know her. Like when I tell you she is gonna cut up every winter, I'm telling you this girl be eating.
Boots fit for everything. Shorts, dresses, skirts, jeans. You can wear it with literally anything. Literally anything. You can't see it right now, but I'm wearing boots right now.
She got boots on right now. I'm gonna give y'all a fit check. Hold on, when we're done, I promise you, y'all gonna see what she got on.
So yeah, boots and heels, like the start of my passion, like how I got into fashion and like fell in love with it. I definitely do want to look in the aspect of buying. So basically, buying is like the people that are responsible for putting the inventory in stores.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
That's honestly a really fun job because I work with buyers on a daily basis. They get to travel for work. They get to travel to New York, Miami.
Oh yeah.
Vegas. I said, hold on, travel for work? That's the best way to do it.
Okay, so boom, I'm gonna be in Mia's bag. Okay? But I love that. Like I really do love that. And I love your story, literally. Honestly, being able to grow up with you has been one of the biggest blessings, honestly. And being able to not only have you as a friend, a sister, a business partner, you're very inspiring. Like I honestly look up to you in so many ways. And at this point, I just want to see both of us reach our goals as fast and literally together the entire way if possible. But I do want to ask you, what advice do you have for young girls who are growing into themselves? Because I feel like we all have had like messages that we wish we could have given our younger selves that we heard from other people. You can think on it.
I know, I need to think of that one.
Yeah.
There's so many things I could say. I would say it is okay to be frustrated with yourself, but be patient with yourself. And it is a very good thing to be ambitious, have so many goals, but just know when you're patient with yourself, things will start to unfold and everything, and you'll be straight. You'll be alright.
So like, when it comes down to growing into yourself and sometimes facing these challenges, how do you feel that you persevere through challenging times?
Just challenges in general, or just in general? Can you state the question again?
Basically, like, you know, we were talking about younger girls and kind of just giving them advice when they're facing, you know, hard times and, you know, being in that young age, that young mindset. What would you give them as advice to push through hard times?
I can't say look in the mirror and shake some ass. I don't know. That'll give you motivation.
That should be on a fortune cookie, like literally. But honestly, that really does fix the problem. Like I know for guys, you're like, what are you talking about? But no lie, sometimes, bro, you just gotta cut on that Meg, that Glow, that Nikki, whatever gets you turned. And just turn up for a hot second. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be alright.
Cause I feel like life is not that serious sometimes. Like it's just not. And when I was younger, I had a hard time realizing that. Like my perception of life is like, if it's a big deal to me, it's just the biggest problem ever. But it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. People are dying. That's how I look at it. Like, people are dying. Like, you know that clip when it was like, Kim K, there's kids starving in Africa, and her earring was in the water. Like, she lost her earring. I had to realize, like, you know, there's bigger problems in the world. You'll be okay. Yeah. Like, literally. But hopping like 3 questions back. If the younger version of you could hear a message from present you right now, what would you say to little Mia?
I would say, I'm proud of you, and you that girl.
Period. Literally.
I have just been envisioning it since, like, if you ask my mom, my best friend, they would tell you, like, Mia, she's been always about the fashion industry since she was little. So the fact that I'm here today, like really in the industry, is very inspiring because it's like, wow, I can just do it like that. But just know it took a lot of work. I got scammed. Okay?
That's not funny, but y'all don't understand, like, as a business owner, entrepreneur, all that, everybody has a scam story. Everybody.
I didn't think getting scammed out of a job is possible. I'm like, oh, this is so new. This is new. Like, you really
It's
right.
that white lady that did my friend like that.
Hey, if you ever watching these, I hope your business is forever closed, okay? Boom, thumbs down, tomato.
For real, because she was really hating. But that's okay though, because we up. We up. It don't even matter. But I do want to ask you one last question. Since you transitioned into adulthood, what changes have you made in terms of your mindset and being so hard on yourself?
I am, okay, as an Aries, we like to have things done in a certain way. So if it's not one way, we're freaking out. I'm already figuring out, like, okay, like, what's plan A, what's plan B, C, D, E, F, all the way to Z. So I have to realize that, like, there's 24 hours in a day, and you go to sleep, you wake up in a new day. So it's like, okay, if things don't work out this one day, it might work out the next day. So I'm like, okay, knowing that as long as I'm being consistent, I'm still always gonna reach the end goal at the end of the day. So I think it's crucial to have your mental health in check, because it's really, really easy to let go of it all and be like, forget it. Like, I don't want to have to do any of it. I don't want to do nothing of it. Like, you have to make sure you're in tune with yourself and making sure your mental is good, because it's really easy to let go of it all.
Most definitely. And then for me, like, I'm a psychology major, working to be a future counselor, therapist, behaviorist, you name it, I'm doing it. I definitely am all into making sure that our mental health is in check, because whether we realize it or not, our bodies, our minds are always being stimulated by what's going on around us, and our bodies can go through a lot of stress without us even knowing it. So it shows in our health, in our performance throughout the day, and everything else, that we really do need to check on ourselves and take time to check in and just be like, hey, you doing all right? What do you need? A lot of times your body tells you what it needs, and if you ignore it for too long, sometimes it will just shut down on you. And I really just applaud you for just making sure that, for one, you're handling your business. You never let anything really discourage you. You kind of kept pushing through. And even when you had times where there was some adversity, people, literally making efforts to make sure that you don't make it to certain places, and you kept your head held high, and just as beautiful as ever as you can see. I just want to tell you thank you for joining me today. And I want you to plug in your Instagram, your business, and your actual account.
Okay.
Yeah, just go ahead and tell them.
Okay. So my personal Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is at Mekayla. So it's NIAMEKALYA. Yeah, that's it. And then my styling page is Gathers and Pens, and that's all I'm gonna have for y'all today.
And then, just in case, if anybody had any styling needs and needed to hit up an email, where can they find you?
They could, I think my email should be in Gathers and Pens account. So they can click on that as well. But if you ever need styling advice, you got a birthday party to go to, a funeral to go to, I can stop to a funeral. You feel me? Like, you got a funeral to go to.
I didn't think she was gonna say that, bro. All the events I thought of, I didn't think you was gonna say that.
Anything you need, even like a closet edit, I got you.
When I tell you, my girl is always on it, and I promise you we got so much coming in store. I want to make sure that I plug in my Instagram. Make sure that you guys follow me at Laila Simone, 2 E's and an underscore. My TikTok is the same as well. And we have been working on a lot, and I do want to talk about that for a hot second. At Lenses Pilot will be dropping for summer 2024. We do this every year. I'm so excited. We have so many different graphics, different looks that are coming out, different colorways, and we're reading up on some styles that you guys loved, and we're just giving you some more colors and options. I'm super excited for the drop, so make sure you guys follow me. And then I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Yes. I go back to school August 14th, and I'm super excited to go back, and I will be hosting for the last ride Jack Talk After Hours and Jack Talk Podcast, the regular podcast. So we have a lot coming up over there as well. So if you're tapped into the HBCU world, if you are in Louisiana, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Florida, whatever state you're in, make sure that you tap into Jack Talk Podcast, because I will be your host. Thank you again for joining us for episode 4 with Miss Nia Mekayla, the stylist, fashionista, and the OG Daddy girl. Period. Don't play with it. Make sure that you guys follow us. Make sure that you stay tapped in. This is Unfiltered Conversations, and I'm your host, Laila Simone. Bye.